Yeah, I guess the build-up wasn't ideal. I had a few big injuries, and then nationals came so quickly for me then, so it was all rushed. Nationals went well, and then the same thing happened for my Euro trip. I kind of quickly had a short prep and then jumped overseas. First race in Italy went really well actually. I made the semi-final at a World Cup, which was my best ever result. Then cruised back to Belgium, where I ended up coming up with like a sore neck and started getting dizzy from that. Put a bit of a spanner in the works, but no, I still had a really good time training with Twan van Gent and his team, which is the world champ, that was a pretty cool experience. And then yeah, the world champs, awesome experience to be able to be there and be in the atmosphere, but I didn't have a great build up just with my injury at the time, but just to experience and be there was pretty cool. Yeah, it was real weird. Like I said, I started getting dizzy in Europe and I had no idea what it was. Being on the other side of the world with foreign doctors, it was quite stressful actually. Thankfully with the high performance doctors back home, I was on Zoom every day with them, and we quickly found, not quickly actually, it was quite a long time, but we found there was a muscle in my neck that was restricting a nerve and an artery. So no, that took a long time to kind of get on top of it. Now that we know what it is, we can kind of manage it. It's not at 100% yet, but I can manage and I can still train. So it's been quite stressful, I guess, dealing with that, finding out what it was. But yeah, now I'm on the right path. I can get back into training and build up for the next season. Who have I seen? Where have I been? Seen everyone, been everywhere. I started in Auckland, obviously, went to Crankworks in Rotorua, and just made my way south. I messaged clubs along the way saying I'm in town if you want to sort of catch up and do some coaching, and it was actually a really cool turnout, and it was amazing. I actually got to meet so many more people in the BMX community, and as we all know, the BMX community is awesome, but to meet how each club runs, the club nights, I'd basically stop in and do club nights at each club. It was just awesome. I loved it. I went to Christchurch, Wellington, Nelson. I'd never been to Nelson, and to see their BMX track and the way they run was pretty cool. Super old school, which reminded me of when I was sort of a wee whippersnapper. It was awesome. I honestly loved it, and yeah, I'm making my way back up north now for Christmas, but it's been a cool trip. Yeah, my plan is to definitely head overseas, but yeah, first and foremost, get back to tip-top shape, I guess, with the injury last year and then the rushed prep into Europe. And then with this injury, it's kind of like I feel back, not to square one, I feel really good mentally and everything, but I just want to have a big build-up, get strong, get powerful, and come into next season physically ready. Because this year, mentally, I was ready to go, but physically, I was probably a little bit behind where I needed to be. So next year, I want to come in physically and mentally ready to go. But yeah, I'll enjoy summer back home, racing domestically. We've got a few fast boys here in New Zealand. We've got lots of good racing coming up, so I'm just going to enjoy that, use that as training, and then yeah, hit the international season next year.
Potentially?
Yeah, Olympics is 2.5 years away, so it's in our eyesight now, like being so close. But me being who I am, I'm just focused on getting into shape and getting back to racing. That's what I love to do. We had a race in Cambridge last weekend and it was just so much fun. That's what I love to do. So like you said, the Olympics isn't far away, but there's so much between now and then. I just want to make sure that when it comes to qualifying and everything, I'm mentally good, physically good, and I'm confident I can give it a good crack. But no, next year I want to try and get to Europe for as long as I can. So that's kind of the financial barrier that's stopping me, but I'll give it a good shot and try and get over there for the whole season really, so that's 5 or 6 months. Yeah, pretty deep question.
Yeah, it is, sorry.
No, it's good. It definitely has. I think yeah, you have friends and family that are similar age to you outside of the sporting world, and you quickly realise like the stuff that we get to do as athletes and travel and all that stuff, it kind of teaches you so much. Like there's times where I'll be alone in an airport in this tiny place in Colombia or something, and you've got to quickly sort of learn how to deal with yourself, stay calm, and just things like that you kind of bring it back into your life back home. But I've definitely grown as a person. I think I am quite comfortable and confident in who I am now, where obviously when you're young you don't know who you are, you don't know what to do, etc. So I think I'm quite confident in who I am as a person, but also I try and find out who I am outside of BMX, because it does consume our life a lot of the time. I've ridden since I was 3, so it is my life, but also I am a person outside of BMX. So it's been interesting to travel, and with these injuries it kind of gives you a bit of time to take a step back and think about who you are as a person, what makes you happy, and maybe have a little look to the future and see what you're going to be doing or what makes you happy after BMX. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I think when I was growing up, Willers was the pinnacle of New Zealand BMX. We didn't get to see him a lot in New Zealand just because he was sort of doing what he needed to be, being based overseas, but to me he's our greatest ever BMXer in New Zealand, especially in my time in our sport. So someone like Mark has set a huge, he's set huge shoes to fill. So growing up as a kid, I always had these goals of being the best ever New Zealand BMXer. I didn't have goals of Olympics, I didn't have goals of being world champ. And that's kind of just who I am and what I had goals to be. Not only as an athlete in a results-wise, but also in terms of inspiring the next generation. As a kid, I guess all kids are the same, but I just wanted attention and wanted to be recognised by the pro riders, the older riders, and maybe I didn't get as much as I wanted as a kid. I'm not sure if every kid feels the same way, but as a kid I was always mid-pack and not the confident kid who would go up and talk to the pros. So I always felt like I didn't get the attention I wanted as a kid. So I've always had something in my head that I'll give all the time in the world to the kids and to that next generation. So I want to leave a lasting legacy on our sport, and hopefully the kids in 10, 20 years can look back and say that I inspired them, or I was a help to their career or their sporting success. That's what I kind of want to leave on our sport. I've still got idols I looked up to as a kid, and they still stick really strongly with me from when I was 5, 6, 7, the ones that did take time out and talk to me. So yeah, as a results wise, I want to be right up there with the best we've ever had, but also I want to leave a legacy on our country in terms of inspiring the next generation. Doing an interview. You're on the interview right now.
Okay,
No, I'm kidding, you're not. Okay, well.
Okay,
Bye. She went her weird, she's like, oh, okay, I'll leave you to it. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay.